they're saying?
Yeah, that we could be arrested if they see us here protesting. That's a bunch
They're just saying just for being here, you can be arrested soon or something?
Unlawful assembly.
It's an unlawful assembly.
Unlawful assembly, okay. How can it be an unlawful assembly at this point?
Unlawful assembly means that the group has an intent to commit a particular crime. And so I guess by blocking traffic, it could be what they're talking about.
I think they're the ones making it violent. We have
they're the ones bringing the fucking
Exactly.
guns.
We have
They had snipers trained on us. They still have snipers trained on us. The snipers are trained on. The snipers are trained on Americans.
They're the ones that have all the like actual aggressive weapons, but we're the ones that have flags and signs.
We're fighting for every culture, not just Mexicans. I mean, Donald Trump is deporting everybody.
Right.
So, as you can see, we just don't have Mexicans here. We have Asians, we have blacks, we have, all nationalities here. So this is not Mexicans. This is everybody. I mean, if you can see, it's basically the whole world against Trump.
How do we make it better?
I mean, to be fair,
get rid of Trump. That's the whole cause. That's the root.
But like deportation's like always been an issue in the U.S., right? Even before Trump, even Obama was deporting people, right? How do we make it fair? How do we make it better?
To be fair, just look at facts. I think a majority of immigrants of all cultures, let alone Mexicans, make up the majority of, especially agricultural workers.
Yeah.
So to get rid of them and get rid of all illegal immigrants, as they say, is just a threat on our economy in general.
What does that mean to you? Are you Mexican American?
Yes, sir. Mexican American. My parents came from Mexico to give us a better life, and we want to prove that we deserve to be here, just like everybody else. Friends, family members. I'm trying to show up for them that they can't be here. And like I said, we want to be here for the U.S. citizens. We want to prove to them that we belong over here. We just want a better life, man.
No, I'm half Salvadorian, half Mexican. I'm 100% a citizen. I was born here. My parents were the ones that were. I'm here to advocate for them because neither of them have committed any crimes. I'm trying to bring facts to law enforcement. I understand the fuck Trump posters and, screw ICE. At the end of the day, they need to be slapped with the cold hard facts.
Yeah, everybody went that way, up the street, under the bridge. That's what I'm saying.
Do you know anybody that has been affected directly from?
Two of them.
Two of them?
Yeah.
Friends, family?
Friends.
What, that were actually deported?
Yeah.
How long had they been here?
25 years.
They'd been here for 25 years? Were they in the process of getting a card?
And one of them already had papers, and so they still got them on Friday.
At work, at home?
At work.
So what was going on with the papers? Were there difficulties, or was it just slow process, and that's essentially all it was?
Slow due process.
Yeah.
One of them already had already approved. But because they didn't have the actual documents with them, fortunately it's for removal. You have to have your documents on you.
Do you know where he is?
They're still wondering where they're at. There's no information, nothing. So you can only imagine the fear, the questionability of our government, the honesty and truth, right? We all expect freedom, right?
Right.
We all expect transparency, and that has not been given to none of these people. It doesn't matter about who's in office. The people who gotta go vote. They gotta get themselves educated. Without an education, without them knowing, without them going to vote, without them doing the right thing, that creates change.
Yeah. So do you think most people, if they were aware, they wouldn't be okay with this kind of,
Now this is the only
these kinds of mass deportations?
They're aware, but I think they're afraid. They don't know the process.
Afraid to look into it deeper?
Yeah.
Afraid
Culture-wise. And I went to an out-of-district, overperforming school because I was in an underperforming school. And that creates all change. In reality, I wouldn't be able to be where I'm at today. And it's the ability where school, teachers, growth, development areas, and segregation happen. We all get a second chance, right? That all changes everything in life.
I even remember well before before Trump, during the Biden administration, by one of my brothers who was married and got his papers. It took him, he was married since 2016, so during Trump's first presidency.
Okay.
And it wasn't until the last year of Biden's presidency that my brother finally got his paperwork. Keep in mind, that's through marriage. They say that there's a legal way to enter the U.S. All right, well then show it to us, because that's the issue that we're having here, is that there is not very many safety entries, especially immigrants that come to seek asylum. That's like inexistent. It's like the minute you get to the border, you're turned away now, without any question. We all know that the majority of immigrants that come here is just literally for money, for a better life, for stability, you know? If there was stability in their country, then there would be no point in them, you know, like, for example, my mom almost died in the river crossing because the coyotes ditched her 30 years ago. And, you know, I even asked her, why don't you just stay? You know, all your family's out there. You came here alone with nobody. And she's like, because they need money, and I need money too. And, you know, thank God she was able to swim, because I would have been lying, you know. My mom, she needs her worker's permit. And I told her, don't go to the office, because she had on time, always got it on the mail, no problem. Now all of a sudden she doesn't get it. And she wants to show up, and I told her, no, it's home. Even though on her status, she has legal entry from 10 years ago, over 40 years ago now, so legal entry and all that. But it's just sad, because my mom has never missed her renewal for her worker's permit. She's always had it, always paid it on time to renew it. And now all of a sudden, she renews it like usual, and now she doesn't. It hasn't shown up yet. So now, a woman who has never committed a crime in her life is now wondering whether or not she'll be able to work, because she has to also renew that paperwork with her boss, right? Simple things like that. Immigrants not getting their workers' permits, not getting their application seen on time, or it's going to be a timely manner. And instead of going to their interviews like a responsible person, they're getting deported at their interviews. Why?
Like I can't handle no more. I get on it and just get back to my car. We're not trying to be troublemakers. We're just trying to let the federal government know that everybody deserves a chance. There's places out of the U.S. that it's a struggle to eat. The cartels get a hold of your sons underage, and they force them to learn how to use weapons so that their cartels stay strong. Our parents take us away from that because they don't want us to fall in the hands of the cartels. California is a sanctuary state for those running from violence. I'm Chicano. My parents came to the U.S. illegally. They established documentation. But as you see, President Trump's agenda, he's violating the Constitution by trying to remove birth citizenship from others. We're not criminals, man. We're just trying to let the president and the American people know that the people that are going after, they're hardworking people. They're people that make a living every day, you know? I'm going to impact America today by what I'm going to say. I'm an executive member of the Republican National Committee, and I don't agree with the President Trump's racism of agenda. That's not my plan. That's not J.D. Vance's plan. And that's not Lindsey Graham and all the senators. The House of Representatives were very, very disappointed at the Trump administration. But he threatens to fire us if we don't comply. I'm presidential U.S. Advisory Board of the U.S. I'm a Republican, member of the Judicial Watch. I'm the guy that is going to drop it hard on the government if they do any illegal acts. Trump's trying to say that he wants to clean up America. There's no cartels in here. You see the cartel Jalisco driving around? You know what you see? You see little kids that got out of school, people that are not even with their families to feed them or take care of them because they're out here trying to send a message that people just want to have a chance in life to live a better way of life. I'm presidential U.S. advisor of the United States and I approve this message.
Take it easy. Do you have anybody that's affected that?
Yeah. Both of my parents.
Both your parents are undocumented?
Yeah.
Have they lived here long?
Yeah, they've lived here all my life. 30 years, 30 plus years.
Yeah.
But it's my dad's fault, because I always told them, like, hey, you know, obviously I'm born here, I can help you. But the only reason why he's always been skeptical about me, like, asking for, amnesty for him, is the fact that he got deported twice when he first came, and I went to prison. So because I went to prison, he thinks that like that affects him. But I'm telling him, I told him like, that's me. You know, what I did was me. But you know, that's a whole other story.
So because of that, they're having difficulty getting amnesty?
No, they've never requested it, but I've always told them like, come on, like the path for you to get your citizenship is there. Like, come on. They've always just neglected it. Now they're talking about this probably moving back to Mexico. I mean, they said they were only gonna go after criminals, you know what I mean? I agree with that, you know?
Yeah.
Not all of them are out here being criminals. Most of them are out here just working, you know? I ain't gonna lie, a lot of them do avoid taxes. That is one thing they need to work on. You give them their citizenship, if they earn it, obviously, not just give it to anybody, but if they earn it. Think about all the tax money that we're gonna receive as a government, you know what I mean?
Right.
A lot of them still do pay taxes.
Yeah.
And they don't even get to file tax returns. You know?
Right.
Because there's a misconception that undocumented immigrants don't pay their taxes here in the United States.
According to research, some undocumented immigrants will get a job using a fake social security number and then use that social security number to pay taxes. Some people will file for an individual taxpayer ID number. So according to Forbes, about 50% of undocumented immigrants file tax returns for a total of $12 billion in state and local taxes.
Can you live in property in the United States, sir, without paying a property tax?
Not very easily.
Thank you. Can you buy something at a store without paying a sales tax?
Not in most states.
So why do you go around telling Americans that these people don't pay taxes?
It's crazy because this whole thing that is going on, it's divided my family too. Because when they got their citizenship, they kind of changed their way of thinking a little bit. Like they got a little bit more high-minded, you could say. They feel like they're a little bit above. People feel like it's too much of a process. Also part of the process, I hear that some of them like have to end up leaving and then wait like 10 years.
Just to come back in legally.
Because I have like a friend that's how it happened for his parents. And they're still waiting over there.
I think you're seeing online already, one of the things that like the Republican, the right sees and is like afraid of is, right, like you've got Mexican flags flying at protests that are supposed to be about immigrants becoming Americanized, right? Coming to America. And they say, you know, why are you flying a Mexican flag when you should be flying an American flag?
And they're even burning American flags, which is the country they supposedly want to stay in, and yet they're waving flags of foreign countries, which is the countries they refuse to return to.
I'm so proud of both of them. I'm proud to be both Mexican and American. Obviously, I'm Mexican because my parents are from Mexico and I have Mexican blood. But I was born here, so I'm American because of them. I mean, I represent both. I don't choose one over the other. Right now, I'm representing my parents, so that's why I'm representing this flag. And honestly, I got this at the protest. I didn't bring it with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Everything that I got right now, I got it at the protest.
People are just handing that shit out?
No, I actually paid for it.
Okay.
That's actually what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
I was going to order some on Amazon, but...
So it's more about not your own, you know, I'm American, I'm Mexican, it's about your parents.
My parents, yeah.
Because that's who's in danger.
That's what's going on, yes.
Right.
Like I said, I'm here to represent my parents. So that's why I have the Mexican flag on.